Okay, today we're going over how my client Josh lost 18 pounds in 90 days while working a 9 to 5, playing video games, having a social life, and not giving up the foods that he loves. This is him on the left, his before, where he was at 235 pounds. And then this is him on the right after at 217. You can see a huge difference, mostly in the midsection, where he basically loses his stomach and his chest. It has a lot less fat on it too. And then here's the side pictures. Same thing. Stomach gone. Chest smaller. Even the arms. You can see he's lost fat in his arms too. Alright, this was his situation when he came to me. He was 235 pounds. He worked 9 to 5, usually more. There were days where he would be, it was like 9 to 8. Okay, I don't know how many hours is that, 11, something like that. And he was constantly on the go. He was moving a lot. He did what's it called, like AAA or something. They do like the car windshield replacement thingies. So you're constantly on the go, right? Moving around. And because of that, he ate out a lot. He was going to restaurants during his break, takeout, not takeout, fucking eating out, shit. Okay, I'm gonna drink my energy drink. Sorry, it's early morning. Right. And then he also had a social life. He was going out like 2 to 3 times a week, drinking a lot. And he also didn't have access to a gym. So he was just working out at home. Didn't really know what he was doing in terms of that. So we followed a 3-step process, pretty simple process that got him from this situation right now to this at the end, by the end of our time. So step 1, we determined his caloric deficit based on his height and his weight. Didn't put him in too steep of a deficit, but also not too slight of a deficit. It was just a basic, 500 calorie deficit. We didn't have him doing any cardio off the bat. And then we started tracking and logging everything that he ate. Even though he went out a lot, I gave him methods and tips on how to track whatever he was eating so he could get the best estimate on what he was actually putting into his body when he was going out. Besides that, whenever he was eating at home, I'd have him track and log everything and measure everything too. And then based on that, we also created a workout routine that works for him. Since he didn't have access to a gym, he only had dumbbells at home. I created a workout for him that wasn't too long, that wasn't too hard, but wasn't too easy either. That really pushed him slightly out of his comfort zone. And then we tracked those workouts too. So we made sure he was progressively overloading, made sure he was not just working out just for the sake of working out, but actually having intention with his workouts. And then we tracked his weight throughout the weeks and then adjusted everything based on how his weight was changing. This is his weight graph for the 90 days. So what I do for my clients is I have them weigh themselves daily, put it into a spreadsheet, grab their weekly average, and then see how their weight changes compared to the week before. There's a period right here where he went on vacation. He went camping, so he wasn't able to weigh himself. And then there were just a couple days where he just kind of missed it. But for the most part, he got most of his weigh-ins in. So we were able to calculate his weekly averages. And then depending on his weight loss or weight gain, we just adjusted and then got to where he needed to be. And then step 2, we had to change his mindset. He had a lot of limiting beliefs on what he could do, how much he believed in himself. So we just had to kind of rewire his brain, change his mindset a little bit, just so he was in the right headspace to grow and improve and change and work towards his goals. what I did in this step also is I just gave him tips and pointers on what he could improve in his normal diet. I don't like people going on meal plans too much because they don't stick to it, or they don't want to stick to it, or if they do stick to it, they'll eventually get off of it and not know what to do when they get back to being off a meal plan. So all I did was have him track what he normally ate, and then I would just give him tips and pointers on how he could improve things. Like, let's say, for example, he logged in chocolate milk. I was like, don't drink your calories, bro. Got rid of that. Next day, he didn't drink his calories. Boom. Simple improvement. Or if I just saw that he didn't get enough protein in for the day, I'd give him tips on what he could do to improve his protein intake or increase his protein intake that was easily suitable for him. Since he was on the move a lot, it was in the form of protein shakes, protein bars, and just overall increasing portion sizes for protein in his regular meals. Overall, it was just small changes that added up exponentially. We didn't change his life completely or his lifestyle. He didn't have to give up anything. He didn't have to make this drastic life-changing shift, you know? It was just small changes here and there. And then what we also did was just constantly check up, daily messaging, weekly checkups, constantly in communication, making sure we're on top of our shit and knowing what's going on. This is one of the messages he sent me pretty early on, maybe like a month in. It was just saying that he was finally, I guess he made that mind shift change that finally helped him start improving and changing his life. And this was a real good message that got me a little teary-eyed, you know. And then step 3. What we did was just kept him accountable. Since I'm on his ass, looking at everything he's eating and how he's working out, he's like, damn, I gotta lock in, bro. Mason's checking my shit, you know? So that was a big thing, because without someone keeping you accountable, if you can't keep yourself accountable, then of course you're gonna fall off. And then I taught him the strategies and methods I personally use to stay on track while going to social outings or when you're on the move. So he, like I said earlier, he has a social life. He goes out, he drinks pretty often. So I would just tell him exactly how to manage having those situations and balancing his goals with his fun. And since he was on the move a lot, I would give him ways of getting his protein in, ways of not going over his calories too hard or at all. And basically just everything that would set him up for success. Cracking my knuckle. And most important thing, just staying consistent. Make sure he's doing what he needs to be doing. And then at the end of the 90 days, he was down 18 pounds. He was at 217. He had all the knowledge and experience to progress on his own. He was motivated to grow even more, motivated to change even more. He was disciplined. He learned discipline through good structure. And he even learned how to keep himself accountable. And he still got to enjoy life. He still gets to enjoy life currently while working towards his fitness goals. This is a message that he sent me when we ended our time together in the program, end of the 90 days. Very heartfelt message, very kind. And then there's some of the questions that I asked him for the end of the program. What was his experience? He said it was awesome. He got his macros personalized, basically gave him all the strategies he needed, everything he needed to succeed. And then he also said that he felt he gained a good amount of muscle just because of the strength gains he gained during his time working out at home. You can make a lot of progress just at home with dumbbells or even just body weight. And he said he's very happy with results he's gotten. And then he said, I'm a great coach, because I am. And then after working together, he was still progressing on his own. Maybe like after 1 or 2 months, I was checking up on him. And then, yeah, he was still progressing on his own physically and mentally. He was still implementing all the strategies and methods that I taught him to progress. And then he was still enjoying life. This is a text that he sent me. Yeah, basically, I set him up for everything he needs. He put in all the work. So it was a mutual, like both of us put in the work to get him to where he needed to be. And he's down almost 10 pounds from last time. Yeah. So if you want to work with me to finally reach your fitness goals, like Josh, there's a link in the description to book a call, and then we'll talk about it. And that's how Josh lost 18 pounds in 90 days while still working a 9 to 5, playing video games, having a social life, and not giving up the foods he loves. I did it. He did it. You can do it. Honestly, there's nothing stopping you except for you. So lock the fuck in.